Hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of Marshall and the Host Talk Pokemon.
Hi, I'm Marshall.
And I'm the host, and today we'll be reviewing
Pokémon Emergency!
But before we begin, we've got a couple of things we'd like to say. Firstly, we'd like to give a very special thank you to the boys at Four Finger Discount with Dando and Mitch. They gave us a lot of help while we were setting up and starting out, and we really appreciate it. If you like quality Australian podcasting, go give them a listen on iTunes.
Yeah, Dando and Mitch actually cover The Simpsons, and everyone loves The Simpsons, so definitely worth a watch.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's really good, and they're a real inspiration to us. Thanks, guys. And now before we begin our actual episode review, we've actually got some trivia for each other. Marshall, would you like to go first?
Yes, thanks host. So the first thing I was going to ask you was, in this episode, there's actually a shiny Pokemon introduced.
Ah.
Do you know which shiny Pokemon it is, and what color is it?
Ooh. Can I ask you one question?
Of course.
Is it a real Pokemon, or is it, say, a clock?
It is a clock.
Then it would be the green shiny Pidgey, wouldn't it?
It would be.
I'll be honest, I've got that in my notes, that there was a green shiny Pidgey.
That's right.
Alright, I've got a question for you as well.
Excellent.
My question is, which 4 Pokemon are on the mural in the Viridian City Pokemon Center?
I've got that as well. So it's Arcanine, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno, who Ash thinks is Ho-Oh.
Correct. Alright, now that we've got that out of the way, let's start our review. As we were saying, it is the second episode of the Pokemon series, Pokémon Emergency. So the episode begins with Jenny speaking over this loudspeaker, PA, across the whole town, warning them about thieves.
Yeah, and you kind of automatically, if you've watched the series before, think that she's referring to Team Rocket. I mean, they are the main protagonist of this show. Antagonist, sorry. And so, she's talking about some suspicious people running away with Pokemon. And then, speak of the devil, in Officer Jenny's words, there's Ash.
It's like, yes, well, I suppose that's fair. You know, he's carrying this wounded Pokemon in his arms while most people take them in balls. So, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, and that's exactly her point. I mean, you know, as a police officer, she is there to look for not only crime, but to help those people in need.
Definitely. I mean, and so she grabs Ash and pulls him up and starts saying, "Yo, Ash, what's up? Why are you, running with this Pokemon?" And then she's like, "Okay, well, at least give me some ID. I mean, that's fair, just, to say who, you are." Though, admittedly, the wanted poster is right outside her police station, so she should have an idea vaguely of who they look like. Which one does she think Ash is, Jesse or James?
And, she's asking for ID, and Ash, obviously at the age of 10, doesn't quite know people need to carry a form of ID. I mean, I only had a student card when I was younger.
I mean, I don't think I had any ID at the age of 10.
Yeah. And so she reminds him, because, man, actually, overall, Officer Jenny's actually a really nice person, because she then shows him that his Pokedex is also a reference of ID.
And when she pulls out the Pokedex, it says,
"I'm Dexter, a Pokedex programmed by Professor Oak for Pokemon trainer Ash Ketchum of the town of Pallet. My function is to provide Ash with information and advice regarding Pokemon and their training."
Couple of questions about the Pokedex. First, it has this photo of Ash, in it. Where did he get the photo? Did it take one of him that day, or was it did Oak have a photo of Ash just lying around?
Creepy.
Yeah, could have been innocent. Could have been school photos.
Yeah.
Did he wear that hat to school? Because he's wearing the hat in the photo. And his just regular outfit, so no uniform school. But anyway, we also learned something very valuable about the Pokédex from this. It was programmed by Oak for Ash. That's why it was a dick in the last episode.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, in the first episode, Professor Oak and the Pokedex had a complete same mentality where they were just absolutely drilling on Ash.
Yeah, poor Ash. I mean, this is his first day. This is still day 1 for him. And everyone's just, just chewing into the poor kid. It's like, at 10, I would have made probably worse mistakes. I'd probably have gotten eaten by the Spearow. Or just given up when the rat took my food and went, screw it, I'm going home.
Now, after Officer Jenny drives off with Ash to take him to the Pokemon Center, Team Rocket is introduced.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, they take their wanted poster, which Jenny had, and there's something weird I noticed about the wanted poster. It's Jesse and James, but it's James' face, and Jesse's chest. Why?
For my opinion, alright, it kind of just seems like the camera angle, you know. Jesse's is kind of shot up, whereas James's face on, so, you know, Jesse's has a little bit more of her body in the photo.
Yes, but for someone to get that far, that means they wouldn't get that close. I mean, did James just pose, but, you know, if they were that close, you could have taken it from the face up, surely. Nah, this photographer's like, ooh, girl.
Upward angle.
Yes. Upward or awkward.
Nice.
But then they have this discussion where it's like, oh,
A wanted poster. How flattering.
Flattering? This picture makes me look terrible.
Then you should be happy the photographer captured the real you.
Exactly.
yes, we get your bad guys. No one wants their bad side on camera, particularly someone as vain as James.
And then also now Meowth is introduced. Now, Meowth has this weird obsession which I've never really noticed before in any of the anime. He really wants to be
The top cat.
Now, I don't know if that's a reference to Giovanni's pet, which is obviously Persian, and he is the top cat sitting next to the head mobster.
I mean, yeah, I think that's probably the case, you know, since in one of the TV specials where we see the origins of Jesse, James, and Meowth, Meowth really wants to be on Giovanni's lap and replace Persian, so...
Oh, that's true. And he always fantasizes about Persian getting the boot and also getting rewarded by Giovanni and being shown value by Giovanni.
That's true. There's this other thing about Giovanni. Did you notice that when Jesse's talking about Viridian City, she goes,
We'll show these bumpkins.
The people of Viridian City will be sorry they ever saw this face.
well, do you know what's located in Viridian City?
Giovanni's gym.
Exactly, and his headquarters, and his lab, and probably his house, presumably, because who wants a commute? So, did she call Giovanni a bumpkin by proxy?
And if she did, how badly is she going to suffer for it?
Yeah, because I mean, you said that, you know, Giovanni's a mobster, so if Jenny's got all her eyes and ears, then surely this mob boss has it. Oh, they're in a bad way if Giovanni finds out.
Absolutely.
Blasting off is nothing compared to what he'll do to them. So, anyway, Jenny drives her motorcycle into the Pokemon Center.
And thank God there's no one in there, otherwise she might have killed a dozen innocent people.
Exactly, I mean, she just drives through the front door. That's reckless endangerment of human life. That is bad police work. Bad Jenny.
And finally, Nurse Joy is introduced. Now, I don't know who I like more. I feel like a bit of a Brock in this situation between Jenny, oh Jenny, or Joy, oh Joy. I mean, there's a really cool thing here where Officer Jenny rides in and Nurse Joy goes, we have a driveway, you know. And
Sassy Joy.
And Jenny justifies herself by saying, it's a Pokémon emergency.
I mean, that's valid, isn't it?
It is.
And so, you know, she calls for a stretcher for a small electric mouse. I mean, why? Like, I'd get it if it was a water type who needs to be in a tank, or like a magma who would burn through a regular stretcher, but Pikachu's just a little rat.
Maybe Pikachus are quite common and they're known for being little shits. So they had to provide this rubber-proof mat so that no one else would get electrocuted.
I mean, I know Joy did just get out some gloves, like...
Where are you putting those gloves, Joy?
I'd like to think that maybe she's just doing what Ash did in episode 1, doesn't want to touch it with her bare hands in case it kills her.
Or maybe the operation needs to get internal.
Know what to say to that.
And so Jenny's about to get in and start treating Pikachu, and Officer Jenny stops her just so they can chat a little bit more.
Exactly. It's like, this thing's in critical condition. You risked killing people to get there fast, but now let's have a chat. And what does that chat devolve into? Joy just taking a big steamy shit on Ash, going, oh, if you want to be a Pokemon trainer, you should not do this. Well, technically, if he wants to be a Pokemon trainer, he should do whatever he wants, because he is a Pokemon trainer already.
Yeah, and then he tries to justify himself, but Joy shuts him straight down and goes, what happens in the past has happened.
Exactly. I mean, Sassy Joy. This is the Sassy Joy. The other's, like, nice. She's mean. But at least she cares enough to tell him where the waiting room is.
Yeah, she switches from super angry to super pleasant.
Well, I mean, I suppose that's good bedside manner for a medical professional.
That's true.
And so, you know, she's going, okay, let's go. Also, this Jenny seems to be kind of a goofy one comparatively. You know, like,
Oh my goodness! I left my motorcycle parked at the front desk.
And I don't know if Nurse Joy is being sassy or kind of mockingly telling her, yeah, we have a driveway.
yeah, I mean, I suppose that... Do they have a driveway? I mean, I didn't see a driveway when we saw that outside shot. I mean, next time we see the outside, which will be Team Rocket's arrival, look for a driveway.
And so, my trivia question is introduced. There's the green Pidgey coming out of the clock.
Yep, and there's Ash. She's been waiting for a couple hours, looking very sad. And then suddenly something gives him the inspiration to call home. Well, I suppose he sees that Pikachu's still in surgery and needs something to pass the time.
Yeah. And so, as he's calling back to his mum obviously very excited and happy to see him, talks about how proud she is and also how proud her Ash's dad would be.
Yep, I mean, she says that how excited he'll be when he hears, which is interesting. Is she still in contact with him? Also, did you notice how long she said it took Ash's father to reach Viridian City?
Yeah, 4 days. I mean, if Gary Oak reached there with the other people in about half a day, Ash took about 3/4 of a day.
And he's like the failure of that group, then 4 days, what happened? Did he trip on a rock outside Pallet Town and pass out for 3 days? Like, God, how bad do you have to be to take 4 days to get to Viridian City? I mean, even in the games, it takes less than 30 seconds to get there, so...
That's right.
Come on, how bad do you have to be? But, yeah, maybe that's why he never came home. If he couldn't even get to Viridian City in 4 days, maybe he's now somewhere around, I don't know, Pewter City, got lost in the Viridian Forest forever?
Now, before Ash's mum hangs up, she asks him to change his underwear. Did you find that weird?
Yeah, I mean, she asked him whether he'd been changing his underwear every day, but this is still the first day, so how could that be?
And that kind of makes me think, I don't know if they actually get to shower every day. I mean, if they're going from city to city and only ever having a shower when they hit a Pokemon Center, they're probably spending 3 or 4 days in a forest.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and I've never seen them take a shower in a Pokemon Center. Only time I can think of them actually showering was at the League?
Yeah, or if they actually get splashed by some water Pokemon.
That's true. I mean, but that's generally been in, like, a Pokemon's mouth. Is that a good shower? Like, all the water of a water gun is basically spit.
That's true.
Yeah, that's not a good shower. Don't shower and spit, folks. Hashtag don't shower and spit.
Now, that also kind of makes me think why Brock always gets rejected. I mean, is it because of his...
Overbearing personality?
Or is it just because he doesn't have showers?
That's true. I mean, unlike the other two, he's a teenager. He's going through puberty. God, you know, like, B.O. You know, the others are 10, so they could probably get away with it, but... God, he probably reeks of B.O. and doesn't even realize it.
And in order to top that off, he covers himself with rock Pokemon, which are essentially dirt.
That's true. Basically, clumps of sentient dirt. Like, Geodude, that's basically a dirty rock with fists.
And then Onix is a connection of rocks into a snake formation.
That's true, and I mean, I'm trying to think... yeah, neither of those are particularly clean Pokemon, so if he's giving them a big old hug every night, yeah, he's a dirty guy. Yeah.
Anyway, back to the show. They actually show a mural of the 4 legendary Pokemon that was mentioned in the trivia questions.
Well, that's great. Arcanine.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting concept that they had Arcanine up there.
That's true. I mean, I'm pretty sure that originally Arcanine was meant to be a legendary Pokemon, but that's why he's in the opening sequence as well.
Yeah.
You know, running and flying, because apparently Arcanine could fly. But anyway, I digress. Then they went, nah, Arcanine, not a great legendary. Let's just make him Growlithe's evolution, and, I don't know, what do you think replaced it, Ho-Oh or Lugia? Because, I mean, Lugia's like their boss, but we saw Ho-Oh in the last episode.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good question.
They are the legendaries for Gold and Silver, aren't they?
Yeah. And then now Professor Oak is calling back with our favourite ringtone.
Ring, 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 phone call.
Yeah, that is a really iconic and universal
Not to mention
ringtone.
terrible.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the old Nokia.
Yes.
It's something that everyone there would know and probably get used to. But in our society, because obviously our phones didn't ring like that until, I don't know, late 90s?
Probably. I mean, this is the late 90s, though.
Yeah, it's very awesome in a way for actual phone call to be able to go ring, ring, ring and start having a tone behind it. I should have set that as my ringtone back in high school.
Ha, that'd be funny. I mean, here's an interesting thought as well. You notice these video phones that they're all using? Is that like progenitor to Skype? Did Skype just steal from Pokemon?
Oh. As you know, Pokemon leading the future since 1995. 97.
Anyway, so Oak calls up and he's got too many cameras because Oak somehow was facing Ash and Ash sees the back of his head. I mean, yeah, let's just say they still had some bugs to work out of Poke Skype back then.
And did you see the noodles he was cooking in the flask?
That's true. You know, that's not how you use lab equipment, Oak. Not for making food. Plus, didn't he say he was calling a pizza?
Oh, yeah.
Just, Oak likes food, I guess. Oak really likes food.
And then he starts talking to Ash about his journey to the Viridian City.
That's right. I mean, it's interesting because one of the dick things he says, which is kind of an Oak tradition at this point, is...
The other new Pokemon trainers made it there with no problem, and I'm pleasantly surprised you got there so soon.
Taking a dig right there.
Yep, Oak, you're a dick. But he does something strange after that.
What's that?
He's actually nice to Ash. He says to Ash,
I admit, when you left, I had my doubts that you could handle your Pikachu. But when my grandson Gary said that you wouldn't have a single new Pokemon by the time you got to Viridian City, I bet him $1 million that he'd be wrong.
That's a pretty small space, so that's a lot of faith in Ash, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
That's nice. That almost makes up for the fact that he gave him a very murderous Pikachu. But here's the question, so did Oak ever pay up that debt? Does Gary have $1 million now? Did Oak have $1 million to start with? I mean, if he's basically the only professor in the region, I suppose that monopoly might work. But
yeah.
After that, Ash goes on to say that he saw Ho-Oh, and Oak's like, you couldn't have seen Ho-Oh. But here's one thing that I noticed that was a bit weird. Did you notice that when Ash said he pointed to the mural, which was also the screen, so Oak wouldn't have been able to see the mural above him, yet Oak still went, oh, you mean that Pokemon, and pointed directly upwards.
That's interesting.
Yes, I suppose that was just an error of some sort, but still, you know, that's not something you notice unless you're really looking for it, so I suppose that's sometimes the credit of great TV and film, isn't it? That you don't notice the flaws when you're in the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but anyway, so then next Misty arrives and she's mad.
Yeah, she calls him a loser.
I'll be honest, when I was watching this earlier, I thought she said boozer, and I'm going, Ash is a 10-year-old, he doesn't drink. Silly Misty. Also, the weird thing is she was carrying this bike over one arm, over her head. Like, I don't think I could do that now, let alone if I was 10 years old.
And that brings me back to the point. Is Misty on steroids? I mean, it explains a lot. It explains her being able to pull Ash out of the, with a fishing rod, carrying that human body weight on a rod, pulling it out, and then now also having a massive temper. She has a temper throughout the entire season, throughout the entire show.
Misty takes roids.
Misty takes roids.
Hashtag Misty roids. Well, guess that's something new we learnt about Misty today. She secretly takes steroids. I think it's just a confirmation, a little wink and a nod. After we see Misty, it cuts to the shot of the in-surgery sign. And what's that? It's a syringe. They're telling us. And anyway, the surgery sign goes off and Joy brings out Pikachu. I mean, Pikachu still looks to be in the exact same terrible condition, except now it's got a light bulb strapped to its head.
Yeah, I don't know. She said she performed surgery, but all he's come out with is him connected to some wires and a light bulb that flashes on and off.
It's like a headband, so it's like, is it surgery if you place something on its head? Tell me, if you had sunburn, so I put a sun hat on your head, would I have done surgery to cure your sunburn?
Or you'd be doing me a favour.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, Australia is notorious for its heat and sun. It's terrible in summer. Why is it like that?
But then I guess I prefer Australian weather than, say, the UK where it's cloudy and rainy.
That is true. That would kind of suck to have grey, dreary summers as well. But let's get back to Pokemon, shall we? At this point, Team Rocket arrive and they just, drop Coughing and Ekans in and just go attack.
Yeah. And Meowth is there talking in the air balloon. And he's, again, mentions about him being the top cat, and it seems like Jesse and James are actually so sick of it. They say, "We know, Meowth. We know."
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's like the only thing he's talked about this whole episode. One thing I noticed, though, is it just me or was Team Rocket actually, like, intimidating in this one?
Yeah, they actually held some form of presence.
Yeah, they haven't become goofballs yet, but they're still kind of goofy. I mean, when they arrive, they just start spitting a verse, their motto. It's like, Ash is freaked out, but then he's like, wait, you guys don't make any sense. And that's fair. I mean, let's say two guys just dropped in from the roof and started saying a poem at you. Would you be scared or confused?
I like poems.
That's true. It's like, neat poem, bro. That's what Ash should have said. But, Jesse and James are mad. Like, you don't get it. And so they have to explain it. It's like, yeah, you are kind of confusing.
And then what I've also noticed is Jesse and James sent Ekin and Coughing to attack Ash. I mean, if this is a world where Pokemon attack trainers, it's a very dangerous world.
Yeah, but I mean, they're also scary criminals in this one, aren't they?
They are.
So, I mean, that's not very cool. And then, Ash is, like, trying to protect Pikachu like a good guy, but, they don't care about Pikachu. He's just an electric rat. And so, they send Coughing and Ekans to attack because they want to steal all the Pokemon, because they think that maybe there's some good ones.
And of course the safest place to go is lead the Team Rocket directly to where all the Pokemon are.
Of course, but, Ekans and Coughing are kind of morons. I mean, they would chase them down the hallway, yet they don't see as, they sneak away. But somehow they also disable the power, so...
And then what I don't understand is, the next scene is a bunch of Pikachu running on a treadmill, and somehow they're all in sync, and they're all generating enough electricity by running to then power up the station again. I mean, why don't they just use Thundershock or something?
That's true, but one thing you gotta give them credit for is that this next bit, why they're doing it, so that Joy can start transferring the Pokemon to Pewter City. I mean, don't you think that's a pretty smart way to, deal with thieves?
That's a very good priority right there.
See, but here's a question. Let's say I'm a trainer who left my thing at Viridian City, then I went out to, get a pizza, right? I come back and I'm like, yo, Joy, where's my Pidgey? Oh, I sent it to another city. What? You didn't think to ask me first? Nah, there were thieves.
But I'm sure they could just send it back if it was that dire.
Maybe, but I don't want you sending my best buddy Pidgey to some strange city. And how aware are Pokemon when they're in the balls? Because if they know what happens, it's like, wait, why the hell am I being sent away?
Yeah. Now, when they are finally confronted, Ash actually summons a Pidgey. Does that mean they can just summon anyone else's Pokemon?
I mean, theoretically, if you've got the ball, you can throw it out.
So then what's the point of even trading? Why not just swap balls?
Good point. What does the machine even do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other Pokemon didn't do anything for Ash, so maybe the machine's meant to break down your will and make you suddenly love and be devoted to your new owner.
Yeah, but then they kind of go off, Pidgey standing there, and he was willing to fight, but she got the shit scared out of him by Ekans.
Yeah, I mean, Ekans is a scary guy, and then suddenly Ash brings out this Rattata, and it's like, okay, that's great, but remember that second ball that's empty? Why do you have empty balls on the shelves? Isn't this where you're storing the other people's Pokemon? Where are they?
And so it also makes me think back to the real-world relationship between snakes and birds and rats. I mean, they often make references to the Pokemon characterizing towards the real-life counterparts, which Rattata's obviously a rat, Pidgey's obviously a bird, Ekans is obviously a snake, and there's the food chain there.
What's a coughing?
That's a good question.
Cancer?
Cancer.
Is it floating cancer?
Hey, it does spit out toxic gas, so...
What, an ass?
Maybe an ass.
It's a big, creviced ass. That makes me why Weezing is 2.
3.
3?
Weezing has 3 heads, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has 2.
Oh.
Well, listeners, tweet us in. How many heads does a Weezing have?
I think you're right. I think it's 2.
Well, anyway, so next Misty calls out her own Pokemon. She's got 3 Pokemon with her at that point. Staryu, Starmie, and Goldeen. Let's see. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things can't fight on land. Like, she had 2 other stronger Pokemon that could fight on the land, but she chooses the one that would just start suffocating.
Yeah. And if Ekans and Coughing are poison types, Misty Starmie is a psychic type. That's the type advantage right there.
That's true. I mean, it's got type advantage, it can actually exist on land, it's the only one of those Pokemon that has evolved.
And instead it's Goldeen that flops up and down on the floor saying, Goldeen, Goldeen, Goldeen.
Yeah.
And then Team Rocket give it this amused and bewildered look like, are you serious?
Well, I mean, I suppose Misty's plan was to let Ash escape. Maybe her plan was be an idiot and Team Rocket will be too distracted.
And she does try to cover her foot tracks by saying,
I was just warming up.
no, you know as well as I know that water Pokemon can't battle on land. I mean, if you knew that, why would you summon Goldeen?
I don't know. As I said, Goldeen was the wrong choice. But anyway, Ash finally takes the hint and bails while Ekans and Coughing chase after him.
And it kind of makes you wonder, who's Misty battling?
Yeah. What is Misty doing? Just chatting with Team Rocket? But anyway, then Ash crashes into the bike that Misty left on the main floor. Gotta say, that was nice foreshadowing that they, brought that back.
Yeah. And then Pikachu somehow summons his Pika Pals, who all land on top of him in a big huddle, and let off a big shock, which not only shocks Team Rocket,
but somehow reinvigorates Pikachu. Like, he had all those scuffs in the last shot, but now he's all healthy again.
Yeah, does that mean you can just charge a Pikachu by plugging him into a power point?
Maybe, I mean, just stick his tail in there. Charging.
Insert and charge.
Exactly, but Pikachu then starts corralling Ash and the other Pikachu, and somehow Ash magically understands that what he's got to do is somehow create kinetic energy. I mean, technically that makes sense what he's doing. Pedaling would create static electricity, which then Pikachu could possibly harness.
Yeah, but then it charges up the light, and that kind of makes me think, if it's charging the light, wouldn't that use electricity, therefore reducing the amount of electricity that Pikachu can absorb?
True, maybe he's absorbing it through the light. He wouldn't take all of it, but some of it, and so then they just start electrocuting Team Rocket, Coughing and Ekans. Gotta say, Coughing's expression of that is just hilarious.
And not only does he look like he's high on life, he then explodes.
Yes. Is he dead? I suppose we see him next episode unless James caught another one.
Yeah. And then Officer Jenny with the great police work. Oh, look at those fireworks.
Yes. Oh no, a building didn't just explode. Fireworks! But then, so Team Rocket managed not to blast off, and so they're travelling in their balloon, which is somehow flying without any of them giving direction. And then suddenly, through no reason at all, a hole just appears and they blast off.
Now, I don't know about you, but I solemnly remember that after every single blast off, Team Rocket goes, Team Rocket blasting off again! But they don't have it in the early episodes.
I mean, I suppose this is the first time. But, I mean, we could still count it as a blast-off, right?
Absolutely.
Here's my question for you, and this is also a question for all the listeners. How many times do you think Team Rocket blasts off in Season 1? I'd say about 47 is my guess.
I'm going to try and trump you and just guess one more than you, so if it's anything higher, I win. And say 48.
Okay, and listeners, if you have any ideas to how many times they blast off, tweet us, send us a message on Facebook, leave a comment in our YouTube channel. Just give us an idea. How many times do you think Team Rocket blasts off in Season 1? And so, then we cut to the next day and, the whole center's destroyed, but somehow the computer works and is
perfect condition.
Still connected to power, exactly. And it's all shiny and white, and, they seem pretty chill about the fact that Ash blew up a Pokemon Center and then just got allowed to leave. He evaded custody for massive property damage there.
And after everything, Misty is still sticking to Ash. I don't know if it's about the bike, but she seems to actually like Ash now.
I mean, she cowers behind him when she sees a bug Pokemon because Misty's scared of bugs.
Which fits the obvious female stereotype that females are scared of bugs.
That's true. But anyway, I personally think Caterpie is super adorable. I mean, I don't know about you, but, I love Caterpie. They're so cute.
Yeah.
Look at that one. It's just staring at him. What are you going to do, Ash?
And so, episode ends here with Ash throwing the Pokeball at Caterpie there. And the questions resolve are...
Will Misty ever get a new bike? what are the plans of Team Rocket, and will Ash get the Caterpie? See, two of those things I kind of get will show up in the next episode, but I don't know about you, but I don't think the answer to whether Misty ever gets a new bike is in episode 3. But to find out whether that is the case, you'll just need to stick around and listen to our third review in Marshall and the Host Talk Pokemon.
And I'm Marshall.
And I'm the host.
And we'll Pikachu later.